For these 2 to 3 minutes, it was absolute chaos.
I bet you there were 30 to 50 shots that I heard. It went on for a while.
You could see Steve Scalise out into the field. He dragged himself after he was shot.
The emotional shock of seeing your friend shot, you're defenseless. We would have been his next victims.
Our lives were saved by the Capitol Hill Police. Had they not been there, I think it would have been a massacre.
A man who was standing behind on the third baseline down this way walked out to the fence line, apparently yelled out, "Are these Democrats or are these Republicans?" Somebody told them they were Republicans. Moments later, shots rang out.
Do we know where he's at? Do we know where he's at?
I've still got shots being fired. We got one in custody. We need medics.
Chaos as Republican members of Congress came under fire, practicing early Wednesday morning for a charity baseball game. Representative Mo Brooks was just feet away.
And I thought it was a car backfiring at first until I see the rifle barrel and a white male taking careful aim at congressmen, staffers, whoever he could get a hold of.
He had a lot of ammo, and I think he must have been secured behind the third base dugout for a while. It was tough to get to him.
In panic, the members scattered in every direction, filling a dugout or hopping the fence to get away.
It went on for, it felt like 10 minutes.
And there was a guy, I don't know who he was, but was out here on the field. And I guess he was shot early on, but he was just laying there and he wasn't really moving.
It was Congressman Steve Scalise of Louisiana, the majority whip. And due to his high ranking, the reason a security detail was already on site.
This is still peaceful, but it's certainly much louder, much more aggressive than what we've seen before. We tried to get through to the protesters, and they actually weren't letting me through with our photographer here. But if we walk over here, I want to show you how the police have all lined up here. You can see the guys just yelling into the officer's face here, certainly trying to agitate them.
It's just a peaceful protest. Just things get a little heated, but no one's here to hurt anybody. We're just here to just protest this BS happening in the White House today.
Look out! Go back! Watch out! Watch out!
And that protest situation now, we understand, Sam, some arrests being made. Sam, can you hear us?
Starting to get pushed around out there a little bit, it looks like, Sam.
Hey, guys, we're actually being pushed.
Step aside. Let's go. Step aside.
Get going.
Hold on. I got you.
Wait.
Let her up.
Our photographer's being attacked right now.
If we could take a wide shot of where we're standing, needless to say, not the crowds perhaps that have been expected, although we're still a little while away from the big moment of the actual swearing in.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
And yes, together, we will make America great again. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
I pray that we all come together and get past this division.
The protesters out here have gotten together a bunch of benches, trash cans, as you can see, and have lit them on fire. This has been going on for the last 5 minutes or so. People have been vandalizing cars that are parked along the street. This looks like a media vehicle.
You know what? Here at McPherson's.
Cracked. And even over here to the left, limos vandalized.
Did you come out here for violence?
I did not. I came out here to make a point that there's a lot of people that are really angry because he's president, because
And right now, buses are arriving here at RFK Stadium. You can see women piling off of this bus right now. They are from Austin, Texas.
You know, we're human beings. Treat us like human beings. You know, don't degrade us. Don't put us down. You know, we're mothers and we're wives, and we don't deserve that.
It's an emotional time right now.
It hurts.
The
a contrast from yesterday. The somber atmosphere on the National Mall for the inauguration, dramatically different from what we're experiencing. Let me just show you, we are on 7th Street here. This is one of the main avenues into downtown. It has been closed off because of these massive crowds. Why come all the way from Fort Lauderdale for this?
Well, I think a lot of people were just really, really horrified by some of the things that were said during the election cycle against women and sexual assault and against Muslims and the LGBT community.
Today is not a concert. It is not a parade, and it is not a party. Today is an act of resistance.
We heard it's a big boom, seen the plane come down, and you see the parachute right after that come down, land just over the sill here. And it's right there across some trees is where the plane just went straight down.
So you saw the parachute come out of the plane?
We seen the parachute land right over top of this hill here. Yes, sir.
What do you think? I mean, you ever seen anything like it?
No, I felt like the airplane was right in my face. It was right there.
Trouble in the sky near Joint Base Andrews, and a fighter pilot forced to take drastic action.
It almost looked like it was suspended in air.
And seconds later,
the jet nosedived into the neighborhood, blew up, knocked me on the ground.
Now, people in this cozy neighborhood are counting their lucky stars.
Now, ABC 7 News at 4 on your side.
Right now at 4, a D.C. Air National Guard F-16 fighter jet goes down in Maryland.
And this right here is exclusive video of the pilot parachuting down after safely ejecting from his plane.
Then moments later, on the ground of Fielding Clinton, just south of Joint Base Andrews, cell phone video and pictures of the pilot radioing for help.
ABC 7 has team coverage from the base, neighborhood, newsroom, and the 7 on Your Side I-Team. And we begin with our Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell in Clinton. Brad?
Well, I guess the headline at this hour is 2 bits of news from the Air Force, and they are that the pilot who ejected this morning is now home safe with his family. And additionally, the Air Force saying only that the plane had some sort of a malfunction and an ejection was required. This is a breaking news alert.
2 big breaking news stories tonight, both from Charlottesville. First, a car plows into the crowd of protesters and white nationalists who were there for a Unite the Right rally. Hours later, a Virginia State Police helicopter crashes in Albemarle County as it worked on the investigation into the violent clashes in Charlottesville. Tonight, the community gathered at a local park in Charlottesville for a vigil to honor the lives lost and those injured during the violent clashes. A 32-year-old woman died when that car plowed into the crowd. Her death is now being investigated as a murder, and tonight the driver is in custody. Our Q McCrae is live in Charlottesville with more on this breaking news and what he just found out about that driver. Q?
Yeah, that's right, Kim. We just got the information confirmed, and here is a picture of the man we're talking about. His name, James Fields Jr. of Ohio, 20 years old. And you'll notice the investigators here behind me. They say Fields is responsible for this crime scene and tons of heartache. A car plowing into a crowd, protesters clashing. This was the chaotic scene in Charlottesville, Virginia. 20-year-old James Field Jr. of Ohio was arrested for ramming a car into marching counter-protesters, killing one and injuring at least 24 more. President Donald Trump addressed the nation about the violence.
We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence on many sides. On many sides.
Petty Officer Zaldi Sabino served in the Navy and Naval Reserve starting in 1985, but it was ethnic cleansing and sniper fire he saw while deployed in 1999 in Bosnia that has haunted him for years.
The thought process of killing myself, it's always there.
It took Sabino a while to admit he had post-traumatic stress disorder.
When I was diagnosed with PTSD, it took me almost 10 years to submit myself to VA and say, look, can you help me?
Memories echoed by Sabino's wife.
If this doesn't, change, we might as well not be together. I don't want the kids to be subjected to this.
His private doctor wrote to the VA backing him up. He had PTSD, but the VA disagreed, denying his disability claim. To add insult to injury, the VA sent Sabino a bill for more than $22,000. Why? The VA didn't explain. 7 on Your Side got involved. hit the phones to get answers for Sabino.
Mr. Sabino, good to see you. 7 on Your Side has some news that could change your life.
We handed Sabino the response the VA sent us.
VA investigated this and identified an error. As a result, a service connection for PTSD will be granted with an effective date of December 22, 2016. Oh my goodness.
The VA admitted to making an error in Sabino's case and will pay him some, but not all, of the back disability he claimed. We asked for an audit, and sure enough, one came back saying the VA now owed Sabino $13,000 in pension and disability payments. Sabino wasn't alone. Veterans groups alerted lawmakers of other former service members getting large bills, only to have them knocked down after disputing the charges.
7 on Your Side went to Congress to get answers for Zaldy Sabino and veterans nationwide.
We found the VA Director of Debt Management, the group sending Sabino the bills, at a House Veterans Affairs Committee hearing. We showed her the letters her office sent to Sabino and asked why the accounting kept changing.
Sorry for the
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to leave.
7 on Your Side, determined to get answers, walked with the director down the congressional hallway.
What would you say just to veterans who maybe feel just confused and lost about what's going on?
I need to know what they're confused and lost about.
Just confused and lost about how much they owe, because those numbers are going all over the place.
They need to use the contact information on the letters they receive and contact the Veterans Affairs.
Those answers weren't good enough for the committee chairman.
This is why we have this hearing. And the reason we're having this hearing is that we're looking at this. We've got the best technology. Why in the world isn't it implemented, and why aren't we using common sense with a lot of it?
The I-Team obtained this shocking video showing a man in the 2nd District breaking into a car in broad daylight. You can't walk very far along these streets and not run into frustrated residents who say they're noticing an alarming rise in smash and grabs.
I see broken glass from cars every single day when I walk my dog. It's constant, it's at all different streets, and it's almost impossible to catch people because it's so fast.
DC police data show in the 2nd District so far this year, 618 thefts from autos, a 22% drop compared to the same time last year. What the data doesn't include, how many of those thefts are smash and grabs? So after seeing this daring daylight theft, we set up our own bay car with multiple cameras, tossed in a laptop computer and some ABC 7 News swag, plus a note in a black bag.
Bad guy. See you on ABC 7 News at 11, smiley face.
It didn't take long for 2 men to spot our black bag in the front seat of our decoy car and strike. While we're alerting police, the same 2 men come back and drive right by us.
Those are the guys right there.
Police pulled them over, both arrested for theft from a vehicle and destruction of property. Our laptop tossed just a few feet away from their car and our black bag removed from their vehicle. They're issued a citation and are now back on the street. If convicted, they face up to 180 days in jail and a $1,000 fine.
Can you tell me why you broke into our vehicle?
Sir, not right now. It's a pending investigation as of right now, so we'll take it from here.
24 hours later, we're back with our bay car again on the same street. In less than 15 minutes, 2 men shatter our window and take off with their bag.
I think there should be harsher penalties for the offenders.
2nd District Commander Melvin Gresham says many smash and grab thieves in the district have a history of robberies and, if convicted, are ordered by the court to stay away from the neighborhood where they committed the crime. The I-Team wants to know, if we're so successful with our bait cars, why aren't DC police using decoy cars too?
We haven't used bait cars in some time, but you'd have to speak with our legal counsel as to the reason why we don't use that more frequently.
I'm gonna try one.
It took 43 years for Donna Massey-Wysong to get to this point, a DNA kit.
And possibly learn more about maybe my birth family.
Back in February of 2016, 7 on Your Side discovered details about Donna's birth. Abandoned, left in a dirty towel, red yarn around her navel near the Marine Hospital in Norfolk. But nothing about her birth parents, who were never found.
I did question how someone could leave a baby that was just born on the side of a road in a dirty rag in the middle of winter.
Half the time babies left like that don't survive, according to the Save Abandoned Babies Foundation. The ones who do are called foundlings, a passion for genealogical investigator Angela Trammell.
It's rewarding to be able to give them that gift of identity.
Trammell reached out to 7 on Your Side after seeing our first report. We connected her to Donna, who needed 9 months to summon the courage to take that DNA test. Immediately, it showed that one of her parents was Irish.
100% Irish.
100% Irish.
And that became an important clue.
It really solved the case.
In January, it led to relatives who identified her birth mother and father. And then on St. Patrick's Day, a match for a sister, 11 months younger, an Irish twin, incredibly, also abandoned.
You have a full sibling. I'm like, this is a joke. So it was true. It was true.
18 miles from Donna's abandonment, Vanessa was left in Virginia Beach in a cardboard box. A door-to-door encyclopedia salesman thought he heard a kitten when he looked down and saw the newborn. The sisters bonded instantly by phone, text, and Facebook. Days later, they booked a flight. And 7 On Your Side cameras were there when the long-lost sisters met for the first time.
Hi! Love you. How are you doing? Love you. I missed you.
But a cloud hung over the happy reunion. Hours earlier, Vanessa got a message from their biological mother, threatening to call police if they contacted her. The painful part for Vanessa, she's been told she looks and sounds just like the woman who left them.
Because if anything, I want to be is a good wife and a good mama, and that this person is, I don't want to be even thought of as being like this person.
So will they ever meet her?
She doesn't care about us, so no, she will never get to meet. I'm not crying about her. It's just, it's a lot to get.
Over 3 days, they caught up on 4 decades without each other, pairing nearly identical baby pictures, marveling that by pure coincidence, they chose to do the DNA search weeks apart, and finding out they also have a brother.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. This is the best thing ever. I mean, I feel bad for people that were abandoned in the past because they could never, this would have never happened.
Now the sisters plan to move their families closer together, back to the beach, where both had been left, where both are now found.
In this capital city of marble monuments, visionaries cast a shadow long and wide. Here, enduring memorials like the Wall remind us that out of loss there can be healing for those who return from war forever changed.
Hi, I'm Mike Walsh, and I served in Vietnam from April 1967 to April 1968.
For the first time in decades, Mike Walsh of Germantown, Maryland, recently dusted off his old projector. He's looking at pictures he took while serving in Vietnam. This 19-year-old Army specialist operated a boat that ferried supplies up and down the Mekong River, an often harrowing assignment.
We received our fair share of fire from the shore.
It's what happened to Walsh on the very day he went home that still haunts him.
There's a slide in there of a place where we used to go when we were off duty. And the day I left, it was hit pretty hard. And I don't know what the total number of guys killed was, but 4 guys that I had had lunch with that day were dead. That question has run through my mind 1,000 times since. Why did I get to go home early? And these guys didn't.
Walsh returned stateside to a nation in turmoil. To distance himself from what would turn out to be significant PTSD that he still struggles with, Walsh made a decision he regrets. he threw away everything: his military uniforms, medals, dog tags, boots, and even the letters he sent home to his mother.
I just wanted nothing to do with it. I wanted to put Vietnam behind me, forget about it, never think about it again, and move on. Of course, at that time, I didn't know I had PTSD, and I didn't know I had diabetes, and I didn't know I had kidney disease. I just wanted to move on with my life and forget that that ever happened.
His significant health struggles now, the result of his unknowing exposure to Agent Orange during the war. Mike Walsh would discover that he could not undo the residue of war, but he did find a way to cope. For years, he refused to go to the wall, but when he did, he touched the names of his 4 friends killed so long ago, which convinced him to begin a journey of healing.
I'm telling the rest of the story, if you will.
When Walsh retired from teaching in 2009, he embarked on a photographic pilgrimage to Vietnam War memorials.
Yeah, it's why I get up in the morning. This is what I do.
His first picture, Mississippi. From there, he's been to Maine, Michigan, Minnesota, and beyond. His favorite, Missoula, Montana. He believes the angel lifting up this dead soldier is also a fallen comrade.
I've always insisted that he's one of us. He's a vet. He's one vet bringing another one. I have been to all 50 states. I've been to most states at least twice, some states 3 or 4 times. And I've taken 62,000 photographs.
His blog, A Means to Heal, features nearly 600 memorials photographed in the last 8 years.
I know that it's helped me, and I hear from vets all the time who say that it's helped them.
One veteran wrote to Walsh, "I've been in therapy for PTSD for longer than I care to remember, but after seeing your site, I know I'm going to get well."
I try to prep myself. It's always emotional.
Mike Walsh recently had one final emotional hurdle that took him morning, noon, and night to clear. For all these years, he's avoided the memorials closest to his heart.
We're headed over to the University of Maryland, my alma mater.
The memorial nestled behind UMD's chapel.
It's over here. I see it.
Reminds him of a painful and complicated time. He attended this university right after the war and was not always made to feel welcome.
I understood, I think, some of what the students were feeling. Nobody knew why we were in Vietnam. This site is dedicated to the people whose lives were touched by the fire of the Vietnam War. I've never quite heard that phraseology before, and I really like it.
Oddly enough, the memorial with the deepest impact on Mike Walsh's life hangs inside his elementary school in Silver Spring.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning.
It's down a hallway he has not walked in more than 50 years.
We went to kindergarten right down the hall here.
This is where he met his first friends, guys like John Liverman, Kevin Coyne, and Frank Streaks.
Oh my goodness.
Those were the classrooms with the chairs?
Yeah.
Desks?
Yeah.
But the sweetness of this day sits beside sorrow.
Show me where this plaque is.
Due to the name etched on a small but significant memorial installed here in 1968.
Oh, right here, I see it. Okay. Oh boy, this is dark, isn't it? So this memorial is to Frank Streaks. We called him Trippy. And he was a classmate of mine. He was a Marine. He was killed in Vietnam. The first one of my classmates to die there. Get a close-up of his face here.
Several months after Frank Streaks was killed, Kevin Coyne lost his life. John Liverman, died in Vietnam as well.
These were guys I grew up with. These were my neighborhood friends. And to come back all these years later, and this is much more emotional than I expected it to be. This is your childhood being destroyed as far as I'm concerned. I spent yesterday at the VA working on issues that 50 years later are still a problem. Oh, that's good.
So Mike Walsh copes the only way he knows how, by pushing on.
It teaches you how fragile life is.
Some suspect there may be 2,000 Vietnam veteran memorials in America. No one knows for sure. Mike Walsh intends to find out. So we never forget the sacrifice of young men like John, Kevin, and Frank.
And I'm not done. If I can continue to find them, I'll keep going to get them as long as I'm able.
Well, tonight there's a metal gate protecting the business, but all that personal information, all those documents were strewn all out here in the middle of the public, unprotected.
The second we arrived.
Hey guys, just curious, do you guys work here?
We found people perusing customers' personal information.
Is that yours?
Nah, just always try.
The files were literally spilling onto the sidewalk right in front of Speedy Tax Service on busy H Street.
I think it's really crazy, really.
Names, social security numbers, and the rest of the ingredients a criminal would need to steal your identity.
You guys better get somebody over here right away.
7 on Your Side called the police, and officers rushed over.
In the about 20 minutes that we've been out here, people have already been trying to pick stuff up. We tried to guard it.
MPD guarded the files and supervised these crews to secure the documents. This customer is furious.
I will sue them if my identity is being used.
Do you know what happened? Did they let you know that this was happening?
My daughter saw it on Facebook. I told her that I would drive through.
ABC7 tried to track down Speedy Tax Service's owner, but none of the numbers we found worked. We also called district and federal officials who tell me they're working to find out how this happened.
I'm going to sue them if somebody find my identity. I tell you that.
Officials couldn't tell us what's going to happen with those documents or if anyone's going to be facing any criminal charges for any of this. Of course, we're going to keep working to track down those answers.
Well, it is the story going viral on social media. Biscuit the dog missing from a home in Southeast. D.C. police, even the mayor, Muriel Bowser, used the hashtag Find Biscuit. Well, look at what happened tonight. We have a heartwarming update for you because Biscuit is back home. Jay Korf live now with the reunion you will see only on 7. This is fantastic, Jay.
Yeah, wow. I cannot stop watching this video. So this family obviously heartbroken for most of the day when Biscuit went missing. Now, tears of joy.
Oh my God.
To understand why 7-year-old Reagan Turner and her mother Daria are crying tears of elation at 9 p.m., we need to take you back several painful hours when their beloved dog Biscuit ran off.
At first, I couldn't control myself. I'm just like frantic.
Daria let the family labradoodle out Wednesday afternoon in their fenced-in yard in southeast Washington. When she checked on him several minutes later, he was gone.
I mean, the world can be heartless sometimes.
Their home surveillance video shows a man walking by their back gate trying to let Biscuit out. Then the man walks around the front, opens the gate, and out goes Biscuit.
It doesn't matter how cute they are. You cannot take a dog from their family.
This time of year is especially meaningful for Reagan because Biscuit was her surprise Christmas gift 2 years ago.
The saying, Merry Christmas, probably not going to be true this year.
As we were leaving the interview, 2 strangers walked up with, guess who?
Biscuit!
They say they found Biscuit wandering several blocks away, read the address on his tag, and escorted him home.
I'm just glad that somebody found him and returned him safely. I'm just so happy. I was like, I heard him. When I heard that bark, I knew it was Biscuit immediately.
Now what's Christmas going to be like?
Christmas was going to be merrier than ever.
So no word on who this person was who let Biscuit out of that gate, opened up that gate and let the dog out. Frankly, the family doesn't care at this point. They're just glad to have Biscuit home for Christmas. Reporting live in the district, Jay Korf, ABC 7 News.
Wow.
Quite a relief.
Such a happy reunion.
And she's a smart little girl.
Isn't she?
The heartless. It's not heartless all the time.
I know.
It's good to see it back.
Tough.